Hello there, Stephanie Kemmerman, the Stock Whisperer, here to tell you the Dark Pool Weekly Whispers for May 29th, 2018. But before we go over this week's whispers, last week's whispers were hot. In fact, they gained a whopping 50%. ROI, we had some really big winners. FCX hit our target. The short on PBR was phenomenal. That thing got crushed off the dark pool prints. Oil, we spotted a lot of prints on oil last week selling. XLE was a great short, hit our targets. XOP, a whopping 7% hit our targets. Semiconductors had a really nice rally. SMH, if you recall, we had those big prints who were bullish above 105.20. That shot up to 108. Really great trades. So hope you got a piece of some of these. But guess what? We got tons of prints this week. Wow. Mostly heavy technology prints. We got some heavy emerging markets, some Euro, Asian prints. So let's just start with the SPY. Always like to start with that. This week, we are going to be bullish above 274. I've drawn these purple lines. These are our levels to be bullish above, bearish below. And if it can break above 274, I have a 276 high-end resistance target. And I'm going to be bearish below 270. That's such a key level, dark pool. And my target is 267.75 and 264.46. That was that massive dark pool level. Let's go on to the Russell. This has been super duper strong. End of the week kind of consolidated. I'm going to be bullish above 162, target 164. And I'm going to be bearish below 161. Target is going to be 160 there to the downside. And of course, whatever prints come in are going to take precedence. And I will tweet out if we get anything massive coming out. The QQQs, we're going to be bullish above 170.88. That's an old dark pool level. And my target would be about 173 to the upside. And I'm going to be bearish below 168.75, target 167.50, and 166 lower trend lines. As you can see, do like to draw a lot of trend lines. Stocks trade in channels, so those are always going to be my targets, the upside and the downside. Let's go to the DIA, the Dow Jones ETF, and I'm going to be bullish above 248.65, target 250, 251, bearish below 246.50. Targets are going to be 245.50 and 244. Let's move on to gold. Last week we didn't have anything really big. We did get some pretty big prints this week on GLD. We had a 450,000 share print at 122.23. Another 500,000 at 122.36, a 600,000 at 122.49, and a 430,000 at 123.60. So here's how we're going to trade this. We're going to be bullish above 123.75, and target's going to be 124, and of course 125. And to the downside, we're going to be bearish below 122. Going to give this thing room. If it is selling, we're going to break down below 122, and my target's going to be 120 on GLD. And we did have some prints on USLV this week, so I'm going to be bearish below 10. Target's going to be 980, the lower channel. You can see we've been in a little bit of a wedge here. So we're going to be bullish above 10.26, and my target's going to be 10.50, and then of course 11 would be the top of this channel. So we could move down to the wedge, but of course, obviously, if we break down below there, there's a bigger trade to the downside. Let's just move to oil because we got tons of prints. We got a very large print on DBO, and this is what started the oil rally back at the end of February. If you were following me, if you were at the New York Traders Expo, I called out massive prints on DBO. Of course, they were buying back here. Well, guess what? We started to get some massive prints coming in again. Are they selling? 4.3 million. That's a mega print at 12. So here's how we're going to trade it. We're going to be bullish above 12.12. Target would be more of a retracement to the upside to the 4 or 8 exponential moving average. Or it's selling and we're going to move below 12. I'm going to be bearish below 1187. My targets are going to be 1176, and then of course we break down below that 1160 and 1120, which would be the channel trend line right down here. So I'm really excited. I know this is going to have a really big move this week. We also had big prints on USO this week, 950,000 at 1436, another 600,000, 1372. So I'm going to be bearish below 1360, and my target's going to be 1337, 1320, and of course 13 if we continue downward. There's a gap. See this gap here? Yeah, so a lot of times, that wasn't that straight. They like to take it down just before the gap to about 13, then pop it up and then fill the gap in. So watch for that pattern on the downside. We also had big prints on DVN. This has been a great trade in our trading room. 900,000 shares at 41.95 up here. And I'm going to be bearish below, but the next level for entry is below 40. So if it does move down this week below 40, there's a great trade set up to about 38.40, which is right around this 30 simple moving average. And then the bottom of the channel, which is about 38. Let's move on to XOG, Extraction Oil and Gas ETF. We had a really big print, 500,000 at 16.25 at the top here. You can see this is a very bearish candlestick, a Wyckoff upthrust at the 16.50 level. And we're going to be bearish below 15.50. The first time it hit, their computers are programmed to buy, so it's going to bounce up. But this week, if we do go down and break below 15.50, I could see a nice trade down to 15. That's the lower trend line. And then, of course, we'll probably take a bounce. But if we test that 15 again, then we're going to look for some much bigger downside to about 13.50. I'm going to be bullish only above 16.50. All right, that's the only time I'm going to get bullish on this XOG. Let's go to XLE. So XLE, great trade on the short side last week. We had a 700,000 print at 73.79. So I'm going to be bearish below 73.80 to a trade down to about this 73 area. And of course, if we break below that, we will most likely head on down to that 50 simple moving average. And I'm going to be bullish above 75 because there could be a retracement trade. All right, back up to this 4 EMA or 8 EMA. That's going to be a brick wall. So I only like to go against the trend if we have a big print, and then it's called a retracement back to resistance. So that's what I would be watching this week for XLE. And of course, XOP. Yeah, very similar trade. We had a big print, 600,000 at 40.70. So bullish above 41, that's going to be our retracement trade back up to 42. And then I'm going to be bearish below 40.50. Target would be 40. And then, of course, 38.50. That's that 50 simple moving average if we do head on down. Okay, let's move on to financials. Yeah, we had some really interesting dark pool prints this week on some ETFs. that have financials in them, and of course financials themselves. So let's just start with XLF. So the XLF, we had almost a million share print at 28.48. So I'm only going to be bullish above 28.50 here. Okay, yeah, we'd have to break all the way above this trend line. Then I would turn really bullish on financials. I'm going to be bearish below 27.62 where I drew this purple line. And my target would be 27.25, this 200 moving average. I mean, that's the first target. We should take a bounce. And then, of course, if we break down through that, my next target would be this 250 simple moving average, which is a really good one. If you don't have that on your chart, put it in the 250 SMA. Most people don't know about it. And you can see back in May, we bounced right off of it. So absolutely, it's incredible. So put that in there. Now here's the ETF, IWD. Sneaky sometimes the way the dark pool works. Massive 1 million print at 122.21. This ETF, the top holdings, well, 3 of them are banks. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. So that's why I'm watching this. I'm going to be bullish above 122.50. All right, if we can break above, and then we'll most likely go to the top of this channel. And I'm going to be bearish below 122. And then, of course, we have 121.50, 121. And then, of course, the 250 moving average would be my last target around there. And then, of course, the bottom of this channel as well. So keep your eye on that. But also VTV. That's another ETF with an unusual large 1.9 million print at 105.49. Now this ETF also holds JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. So we're going to be bullish above 106. If smart money's buying, we should easily break above 106. And look, there's really no resistance up here, but I'm going to be bearish below 105. That's a really key level, and the print happened at 105.49. A lot of room to go to the downside to, let's see, 104.50, 104, etc. Now, you don't have to trade VTV or IWD. They are expensive. You can easily trade Wells Fargo, which had a really big print, but I would watch those levels for those ETFs. So Wells Fargo, we had very massive prints coming in, especially on Friday. Actually all week, but Friday really heavy prints coming in. 54.65, 1.5 million. On Friday we had 3.5 million at 54.68. We had another 2 million at 54.78. Now there was a synthetic trade that was put on involving options, where they take options and they take the stock and it's one big trade. However, okay, I always follow the big massive trades on the stocks. This is going to have a big move, you guys. I'm going to be bullish above 55. That is such a key level. So I've drawn that trend line at 55, and my target is, let's see what I write here. Oh, bullish above 55. Target 55.75. That's the high end. And really, obviously, if we can break above this high end trend line, then there's going to be lots of room to go up. But I'm going to be bearish below 54.25. And then there's a lot of room to go to the downside, 53. And then, of course, 52.50. Keep your eye on Wells Fargo for sure. But Citibank also had a very large million share print, 68.37. It also had another print, 600,000 this week at 69.44. And you can see it's not looking too good at all, Citibank. Really ugly chart. I'm only going to be bullish above 70. Really needs to make a V shape and break above 70. Then there's a nice trade to 71.50, 72. I'm going to be bearish below 68. If you're not already in this, bearish below 68. And my target's going to be 66. That's a lower trend line, in fact. Just go out a little bit so you can see. I start drawing my trend lines as far back as I can to find those strongest levels. 66 key level. Now, if we were to break below that, this is going to get really ugly, probably about to 62, 60 area. All right, so just levels to watch. Let me just zoom back in here. Okay, so we're done with the banks. Let's move into technology. Really heavy print on tech this week. We'll start with Micron, MU, million share print, 6170. But wait, we had another million share print at 6120. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to be bullish above 62 and bearish below 60, 50. And I do have a target on MU of 58. This would be a retracement trade down to the 8 exponential moving average. And you can see there's a gap. So again, there's that gap, fake out, most likely bounce, and then come down and fill it in if it's the dark pool selling. If not, I'm bullish above 62. Now we had some very interesting prints on Marvell Technology. 700,000 shares at 22.59. So we have an interesting long-legged kind of doji, very high volume candle here, guys. We're going to have a big move on Marvell. So I'm going to be bullish above 22.75. And my target would be all the way up at 24. And bearish below 22. Target would be 21.50 and 21. And then, of course, 20.75. But big doji, big volume, big move coming up. Don't take your eyes off of Marvell. And I understand it's hard to watch all these stocks, right? So what I like to do is I set up a watch list where I can easily monitor. I've copy and pasted all of my prints and levels in my user notes onto my software. And I flip through this all day long looking to see where stocks are. You can also put in you know, some software alerts where it'll obviously alert you. Some people actually get notifications on their phone when stocks are breaking levels. So there's a lot of things you can do. Let's go to Apple because, oops, we had some really big prints on Apple. 1.2 million at 188.30. I see a bull flag pennant forming right here. However, I want us to break above 189. Yeah, if we can close above 189, my target's going to be 90, 192.50, 195. But if this is a bull flag formation, 206 high end. I will be bearish below 186. Yep, if Apple were to break below that, especially on a close, my target's going to be 184 for Apple. Let's go to Applied Materials. AMAT. I've been trading this stock since 1994. Love AMAT. We don't normally get prints on it, so this was unusual. 50.73. 500,000 shares printed, I believe, on Friday. So we're going to be bullish above 51.25. If that's smart money buying, I want to break above this 8 exponential moving average. That's really key. And my target would be 52 and 53. Yep. That would be my target on the upside. However, I'm going to be bearish below 50. If we close below this trend line, look out below for AMAT 48 and 46. In fact, just show you, yeah, that's where we have this resistance going all the way back to February. I'm sorry, support going all the way back to February of 46 on the downside. Let me just zoom back in and let's move on to Netflix, because guess what we had? Prints on Netflix. We don't normally get prints on Netflix, so this is really exciting. We had 3 100,000 shares printed at 348 and change, 77. So we're going to be bullish above 350, and my target's going to be 360, 362.50. I'm going to be bearish below 345. Here's a downside, so here's the upside trade, and here's the downside trade to the bottom of this channel. 345 is the level, bearish below, so 340 and 325 on the bear side. So keep your eye on Netflix. Google, even Google had a print this week. 200,000 share print. That's a lot of money. 1085. 1,085. So we're going to be bullish. Let me just draw this out. Above 1,100. And I can see us going to the top of this channel right here. Going to be bearish below 1075. Target would be 1050 and 1037 to the bottom of this channel. And you can see stocks love to trade within the channels. So we're in the middle. It's like the monkey in the middle right here. So we're either going to go back to the top of this channel and possibly even break out, or head on down to the bottom of this channel. But big prints have big moves. And Amazon had quite a few 100,000 share prints. We had 150 at 1578, another 100, 1601, another 110,000 share print at 1611. So we're going to be bullish above 1620, and my target would be the top of this channel at 1640. Bearish below 1575. My target would be 1550. Intel, end of the day on Friday. Not at the end, but like a few minutes shy. And we don't normally get these, so pay attention. 1 million share print, 55.39. We're going to be bullish above 55.50. It looks like it's getting really tight in this wedge. So if it breaks out, yeah, this can have a really big move. So we're going to be bullish above 55.50. First target would be 56, and then of course 57, 57.50 would be next levels up. And going to be bearish below 54.75, and that means that we would most likely come down to the bottom of this wedge once again. Let's go to NVIDIA. That was an amazing trade last week off those prints at, 246. Remember those? Yeah, it was a great trade down to 240. This week, we got a 1.2 million at 248.96. This is also a bull flag formation. See the flag? There's the pole, and there's a pennant flag. We're breaking out of here. I'm bullish above 250, you guys. This is a great trade to the upside. Target would be 260. And I would only be bearish if we broke below last week's 246 prints. So bearish below 245, and we would most likely come back down to the bottom of this channel. All right, one last technology stock, Facebook. We had a 900,000 share print on Facebook at $184. So I would be bullish above 186. My target would be 188, and I'm going to be bearish below, here we go, 183.75. My target would be 182.70 and 181.75. These moving averages are really strong on the daily chart. All right, let's go into the emerging markets. Brazil. Yeah, Brazil has been getting killed. Massive prints coming in. We had a 900,000 share print. Let me just zoom out on this chart so you can see some long range support. Yeah, down here. So we had a very large print, 900,000 at 37.75. Going to be bearish below 37.50. And my target's going to be 36, the bottom trend line over here. I'm going to be bullish. Let me just zoom in again. All right, above 38, because then we would have a retracement back to this 8 exponential moving average, about 50 cents. And I'll watch and see what prints come in as well. Now, we did have some really big prints on INDA. Yeah, India ETF. Look at this massive volume that came in. So we are above the 8 exponential moving average. We also have an island. Look at that, an island, a bullish reversal island, very rare pattern. At the bottom, when you have a gap down and a gap up in the same gap, yep, it creates an island over here. And we're going to be bullish above 33.50. Target would be 34. Okay, right here would be my target. The 50 moving average and the 30 simple moving average are kind of hanging out there together. So that's 2 computerized programs that are loaded to sell. That would be my target. You always want to get out before that. Cut the line. We had a big print on it. Actually, quite a few prints that added up to 750,000 shares from 33.34 to 33.39. And so that's why I'd be bullish above 33.50. And I'd only be bullish below the prints, below 33.25, and targets on the downside. I just like to be prepared on both sides always. Let's go to WH, Hong Kong ETF. Unusual 1.1 million print at 26.04. So we're going to be bullish above 26.20. Right here, there's a trade to the upside to about 26.50. And I'm going to be bearish below 26. And it's a trade all the way down to 25.75 and 25.50. That would be my targets for Hong Kong. Let's go to Taiwan, EWT. These were really unusual. And we had a 673,000 share print at 37.07. So going to be bullish above 37.25. And my high-end target would be the top of this channel here, about 38. And bearish below 36.75. And then I have a low-end target going down to 36.50 and 36 area for that. But wait, we're not done. We had a lot of trades, you guys. We had Japan. Let's start with DXJ. Massive. Look at the volume that came in over the past 2 days on the Wisdom Tree Japan ETF. 3.7, I'm sorry, no, 1 million, 56 36. The 3.7 was on the other Japan ETF, which I'm going to get to in a moment. We had another 500,000 at 56.52. So I've mapped out the trades. I'm going to be bullish above 56.75. And this is going to be a retracement trade back up to the 8 exponential moving average. And then I'm going to be bearish below 56.20. If we break below this purple line I've drawn, there is a lot of room to the downside. First target would be 55.85. That's where that 250 simple moving average. But if we can't hold it, 55 is the next big, strongest level to swing off of. But the really big prints came in on EWJ. That's another Japan ETF. And you can see really big volume on this candle. So we had 3.7 million at $60.16. That's a really big trade. You guys do the math. Going to be bullish above 60.25. And we're going to have a retracement to about 60.50, 60.60. Bearish below 60. If we cannot hold on to this 60 level, look out below. We'll most likely come down to this 200 moving average. All right, now let's go to specific stocks that had unusual prints this week. Altria Group. Wow, we had a very large, almost million share print at $55.63. It hasn't really moved yet. That's what I love about this. Going to be bullish. Oops. Above 56. And there is a nice trade. Let me just draw a line here, right? First trade is going to be to this orange moving average, the 30 simple moving average, about 56.50. Then if it can break above that, we have 57, we have 58.75. The 50 moving average is my high-end target. It has a nice frying pan bottom and large prints, but if it's selling, we should break below 55, and my target would be 54 on the short side. Let's go to Disney. Yeah, Disney had a monster 1.5 million print at 102.52. We also had another print up here at 104. This is a great short this week. However, we had a bottom support print at 102.52. Well, I think it is, but I don't know. So we're going to be bearish below 102. If Disney can't hold 102, there is a short trade down to 101 and 100. However, if we break above 103, I have a target of 104 and 105 based on this trend line. Okay, going all the way back. So that would be my high-end resistance for Disney. Let's go to Time Warner. A lot of prints on TWX. We had a 500,000 print, 94.83. So I'm going to be bullish above 95. Target 96.97. Bearish below 94. And you can see, you know, there's a lot of room to the upside and a lot of room to the downside. We've got to give it a little bit of volume wiggle room. Okay. BRX has been a phenomenal trade so far. We had massive prints that came in. 3.5 million at 14.80. We've been bullish. We got some recent smaller prints that came in at 15.16. So if you're not in this, we're going to be bullish above 15.25. Target 15.50. And bearish below 14.75. I'd only be bearish if we broke through those original 15.80 prints. Now let's move on to JD, because this one looks really interesting. I love when it consolidates and we have big prints. 900,000, 36.90, another 700,000, 36.55. How are we going to trade this? We're going to be bullish above 37.25. There's a nice big trade up to that moving average. We're going to be bearish below 36.25. There's a lot of room down to 35. Next is Nuance. Love this as well. A lot of heavy prints have been coming in to Nuance at 13.85 and 14. So we're only going to be bullish above 14.20. High-end target 14.50, and then 14, I want to say 88, wherever this 50 moving average is. Wherever that is, that's going to be resistance, but right around that 15 level. And then I'm going to be bearish below 13.50. There's a lot of room to go, to the downside, to about 12.50. Next is XLP. And XLP, 3.5 million prints. This is going to have a big move. I like to see it break above that simple 30 moving average, the orange moving average right here. If it can break above 50.25, there's a lot of room to go to 51. And of course, 52 would be the next target. There's a gap here, right? So a lot of times they like to take it to the strongest level before the gap, push it down, then fill it in. So those would be my targets on the upside. But if it's selling, going to be bearish below 49.50, and my targets are going to be 49 would be my first target. Let's go to Tesla. I know a lot of you traded Tesla. We had a print this week, 100,000 shares at 275. So I'm going to be bullish above 282. I'd like to see it break above this 8 exponential moving average, wherever that is. Then I can see a trade up to 290. However, I'm going to be bearish below the print. If it tests it and breaks below it, I'm going to have a short trade down to 270, possibly 260 area. Oops, I went a little too far there. Home Depot had an awesome print this week. Highly unusual, 500,000 at 185. It hasn't moved much yet, and I'm so excited because I love it when it hasn't moved yet. So we're going to be bullish above 187.50. If it can break above that, there's a nice trade to 190, 192.50. And then I'm going to be bearish below 184, 183.75 area. There's a nice trade down to 180. And last trade, you guys, is Pandora. Pandora, we had unusual 800,000 share prints coming in at 707, 709. So we're going to be bullish above 725. Target would be 750. Bearish below 7, and you can see that there's a gap, right? So we're most likely going to take it down to the strongest level before the gap, about 650. Then they'll bounce it up, and then if they bring it down, 6 would be the next target. So come watch me trade these stocks and so much more all day long live in the Java Pit Trading. I'm at www.thestockwhisperer.com. Happy trading, everybody.
That's my secret. Can you keep it? My secret. My secret.